Oh, no way. A guaranteed champion event for a Void LEGGO? Oh, nice. Rio's pretty solid. I think I should pull some Voids, maybe. Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and we have got some craziness going on with the first time ever that Plarium is going to do a guaranteed champion event for Void Shards here, featuring a Void Legendary. Now, we have seen this with Ancient Shards with Lady Kimmy and Vizier, and then we've seen Sacred Shards for Helior, Kyoku, stuff like that, but now it's going to be a Void Shards. And then we've also got the gear cost removal, we've got CVC, and lots of stuff to go over today, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so Plarium's back to dropping news at 3 a.m. for me again, but as soon as I wake up, I rush to the studio and start to work on covering some of this for you and giving you my take on this. But, you know, gosh, there is such a crazy power creep coming to the game, and especially in the last few months, just with like the consistency at how much crazy stuff is going on. I know a lot of you weren't playing, you know, maybe back in the day, but it used to be so much more calm, you know, and some people maybe like that, some people don't like that. Some people love the craziness and stuff going on constantly, and some people would probably prefer to have a little bit of time to chill here and there. So just kind of depends who you ask. But, you know, back in the day, we didn't even know when we were getting a 2x event. You'd wait like 2 months and be like, gosh, we haven't had a summoning event for a while. I bet they do a 2x soon. And then you just wake up randomly one day and there would be a 2x for shards. But now it's so regimented: 2x, 10x, rotation, guaranteed summoning event, CVC. Here's a new fusion. You just finished that fusion. Here's the next one. So just constant craziness going on, and they are really kind of ramping that up recently. It just seems like you know, you can never hold on to enough shards, you can never save up shards. There's always something crazy going on that is trying to kind of deplete you of your resources to pull your shards and stuff. But anyway, let's go over this Riho event and talk about you know, Plarium and where they set the price, and Riho as a champion, and if I think people will be pulling for her and all that good stuff. Okay, so first of all, it is going to be pulling 90 Void Shards that are not boosted in any way. There is no 2x, there is no 10x. It is just literally you pull 90 normal Void Shards, and you will get Riho as your 90th shard. It will not be a bonus, it will actually be your 90th shard. And we've been wondering for a while where Plarium would set this price, because we see typically the guaranteed ancient events are 150 and the guaranteed sacred events are about 15, and it looks like we got that answer. It looks like the first iteration of them trying this is going to be 90 Void Shards for a Void Legendary. And it's also worth noting that this will not reset your mercy system, which does, that is a big deal, especially on Void Shards. You know, the mercy system is probably most impactful or most important on those Void Shards, so it is really big that it does not reset that. So even at your worst luck, at least you are guaranteed to get a legendary at better than 2x summoning rates, which, what do I mean by that? Like, during a 2x, your odds of getting a legendary are about once every 100 shards. So it's technically better in terms of acquiring a legendary than a 2x. But remember, you're not getting any of the epics. So if you're an early or mid-game player, it's still going to be worse than a 2x. If you're still looking for things like Maneater and Ceres and Seer and Uragrim, you're not going to be rounding out your account by acquiring some of those epics. But if you're an endgame player who is just trying to collect legendaries, and you don't have Riho Bone Spear, this would probably be even better than a 2x, as long as you're going to pull at least 90. But now let's give you a quick refresher course on Riho and the abilities and the base stats, and all of that looks pretty solid. You get the 105 base speed and some decent toughness stats, nothing crazy. The 0 accuracy is a little bit rough on the base stat there, but we're going to attack one enemy, place continuous heal on the ally with the lowest HP for a turn, and then also 7.5 continuous on all allies with a 30% heal or with 30% HP or less for 1 turn. So some consistent heals on the A1, but it is a continuous heal buff that is going to wait for their turn. It's not going to be an instant heal or anything like that. Her A2 and A3 are pretty crazy, though. That's definitely her calling card and not really the A1. The A1 is just kind of some ancillary value. But the A2, we're placing, there's really no ability like this. You're going to place a stun on an enemy for a 1 turn, so you get CC, and then you're going to place HP burn, decrease defense, weaken, decrease attack, decrease crit rate, and also attack them. So tons going on here on the A2. Obviously going to be amazing if you're trying to bully one specific target in the arena, or in a PvE sense versus certain bosses or something. You're really placing everything you would need on that boss with the A2. Then the A3 can be booked to a 3-turn cooldown with an AoE cleanse and block debuffs, which is absolutely amazing. There's not a whole lot of abilities that do that in the game. You get champions that are really good, like Duchess, that will place the block debuffs and stuff, but to also have the cleanse that goes with it is pretty rare. So getting that cleanse, then block debuffs, super impactful somewhere like the arena, and you're also going to heal all allies by 35% of their max HP and a further 5% for every buff that you remove from them. So this is obviously a tailor-made perfect ability for a team that is going to go second. You got her in immunity or super high resistance. You have her go first in the rotation of your team, cleanse everything that the enemy has done to you, and then also place a block debuffs, so she can be a great filler of a defensive team support somewhere like the arena. And obviously an ability like this would be incredible for any sort of PvE content as well. And then we've got a passive on receiving any debuffs, instantly transfer them from this champion onto the attacker. Obviously you can see how great that is. It does have a cooldown of 3 turns, and she's got the aura here of 42% attack in faction crypts. And then if we pull up our most recent chart of laying out the different Void legendaries, you know, this is trying to lay them out in terms of overall account impact and general utility as best I can, getting opinions from many different people. Obviously, different people are going to disagree, and it's never going to be scientifically perfect, but this is kind of loosely where I think, you know, in terms of my information gathering, where the Void legendaries would rank. And you can see Riho over here, still in the S tier and pretty close to a top 10 Void legendary, just kind of probably in the middling of that next tier. Maybe not quite going to be like a Siphi or a Warlord or something like that, but definitely a very solid legendary. No one is going to grade her like down in these areas. Everyone's going to pretty much have her probably somewhere between, like, I'd say right here and like right here. So if anything, I've got her kind of rated towards the back end of where most people would rate her. The average would probably be like somewhere right in here is where you'd probably see people ranking Riho. So definitely a pretty solid Void legendary. But is she worth 90 Void shards, YOLOing for it? You know, that answer is wildly different depending on the player and where their account stands. I do think typically I tend to lean in the direction of you know, new accounts holding off and having the discipline to pull during 2x events, just because you have so many legendaries that are impactful for you still, and you want to acquire as many epics as you can. You want to get those Skull Crown and Urigrim and Seer and Saris and Maneaters. So for new accounts, I do think it's still best to pull during a 2x event, but I can definitely see it making sense for people that want to go after the 90 voids for a Riho if they are kind of middle to end game. Maybe they're a spender, maybe they've got void shards saved up, but honestly that's pretty rare. I mean, we just had 2x voids. I bet you a lot of people are going to be low on their void shards. We also have a fusion where we just had to pull shards to acquire points for the fusion that's going on in game. So the amount of people that have void shards in the amount of 90 sitting around on their account is going to be very low. So it's going to depend. Do we get good offers in the shop? We did have an offer recently that was insane. It was like 15 voids for $20. One of the best void shards offers I have ever seen. So if we get offers like that, you could see a lot of people willing to kind of go after the 90 shards and make it happen here during CVC. We'll go over the offers here in a little bit, but yeah, it's going to depend on your account personally, and everyone's going to kind of value this differently. But it is technically better, like I said, than a 2x, because you're beating the 1/100 expected legendary clip of a 2x, and you're also kind of guaranteed to get a pretty solid top 10-ish void legendary. So technically I could see the argument for it being better than a 2x if you're not a beginner and you're not in a spot where you're looking for some of those void epics. Also worth noting that Plarium is going to be trying out this gear removal cost reduction. This is something we have been suggesting to them behind the scenes for years. So it's fun to see this finally get implemented in game and be something they're willing to throw out there for the player base. My suggestion was make it like a resource in game, like the XP banner and stuff like that you can claim when you're going to farm a bunch of campaign to have a double XP. I wish they would have, like, you know, removal cost reduction banners where if you've got a day where you're going to be doing a bunch of swapping, boom, you claim one of them that you have saved up that maybe you got from a tournament or an event or something like that, and then you get a little bit of a alleviation on spending some of that silver adjusting thing. So that's the route that I told them to go, but at least they're playing around with the idea. And for the next couple days here, starting today and until Thursday, April 28th, there will be a minus 50% that is stackable with some of the things like the recall quests and stuff like that, if you've got those active as well. And we also want to give you a little bit of context here on the gayest, the gleeful events going on right now. Obviously, today is Tuesday the 26th, so you are here on this chart. And thank you for those of you in the comment section that do a great job informing people as well. Yesterday, I made a mistake on forgetting to mention that you should wait to do the artifact enhancement event during CVC, because right here on Tuesday and Wednesday we are getting a CVC. So all of the events right here can kind of be double dipped with CVC. So my bad on forgetting to mention that yesterday. That is definitely a good tip. Anytime you've got a fusion event that is live and it's going to be during a CVC match occurring on a Tuesday like today with the launch of CVC, you want to make sure and kind of hold off if you're within that window where an event will kind of start like the day before CVC, but still be live when CVC occurs. So thank you for making sure to let people know in the comment section for that as well. So hopefully I did wait a little bit. I only upgraded kind of a couple pieces randomly while I was talking with Scratch yesterday on stream, but I'm definitely going to be waiting to do the bulk of my upgrading and stuff during CVC. But you're going to want to focus on a little bit of champ training, and you've also got a dragon tournament with the artifact enhancement and the double dipping with the dragon and the dungeon divers right here over the next couple days. So if you're grinding hard during CVC, that can be something you can take note of to kind of double dip some points and make some progress here on the fragment event calendar. And if you're curious about me where you should be, I've done a pretty decent job of getting most of the stuff out there, but I haven't really gone hard in the paint to win a tournament or anything, and I am at 65 over 100. Also want to make sure you jump in to the clan quests, and I can see that I've got a new rotation here, so I'm sure a lot of you do as well. A new weekly rotation there on the clan quest to make sure and get in there and scoop up those to start working on those this week. And it is also your last day to spend the Hydra keys in this rotation, as that will be resetting tomorrow, as well as we dive into a new week on the Hydra every Wednesday. And all right, now we're going to dive into the shop and keep you in the loop. The most important thing today is definitely going to be, or the thing that people are the most curious about is going to be void shards and probably this string pack right here. Now, there are a couple different versions of these string packs, and while expensive, typically if you're looking for void shards, this is one of the best ways you're going to see them in game. And if you want to see how they actually plug into the chart, these special void packs, this string in particular, usually grades out as a 2.5. And this that I plugged in up top is the big version where you get 78 voids. You can see the version on my account is a little bit of the smaller one, but it would still be about a 2.5. But for those of you that are spenders on Raid and you have the big offer for the special void pack, that is going to be the full breakdown of it. You're going to get the silver, the gems, and then most notably 78 voids. So you would get close to the 90 required if you bought the big version of the special void pack. And the smaller version of the offer that you can see I have right here on my account is going to be the 7 plus 12 is 19 plus 16 is 35 plus 11 is 46 voids. So, you know, based on my offers here, I mean, even if I wanted to go for Riho, for me to go from 0 to 90 is going to take an insane amount of spending. I don't think I can really get there realistically without dropping just some absurd amount of money. But for those of you that are getting the big offer, that one is going to be 78 like I showed. It would get you a lot closer. But, you know, it is expensive. You're going to be throwing $200 or $300 at getting enough shards acquired to go after Riho. So you'll all have to weigh that according to your accounts. But technically, these void packs right here are usually going to grade out as about a 2.5. So for high spenders, there's some of the better offers you're going to see in game in terms of acquiring these void shards. So alrighty, typically this is where I would head over to stream and hang out with you guys for a little bit, but I have got a meeting to get to for this afternoon. Lots of meetings recently because I've got something big to announce to you soon that I've been working on for a couple months now, and it's going to be exciting to let you know about that. I just got to kind of wrap up some of the final touches here and get that rolling within the next week or two, and I will let you know once I get all of that information, but I'm hoping it's something you'll enjoy and something super fun to work on as we launch into the future. So I have got to go do some meetings in relation to that this afternoon, but let me know down below what you think about the Riho event and the gear cost removal, and really the ramp up, the power surge of how often we are getting stuff in Raid is an insane time where we're getting the Krisk events and the fusions back to back and the non-stop constant demand of summoning shards. We get the guaranteed Kyoku, the guaranteed Riho, and it just keeps coming down the pipe, really draining us of all the resources we have constantly. Not to mention this weekend we are probably going to have 2x ancients and all of that going on. So do you like the frantic pace at which we have craziness going on, or do you wish it would slow down a little bit? Would really be interested to know all of your different perspectives on that as well down below. So that'll do it for me on this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.